Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Canning, where every day, what'd you just say? Did you say Adventures in Everyday Canning? I'm canning today, so I decided to do a play on words and be Adventures in Everyday Canning instead of everyday cooking, you know, trying to be funny. That's not what's in the script. It says Adventures in Everyday Cooking. It's fine. I okayed it. It's my channel. I'm allowed to do that since it's my channel. Okay, fine. You okayed it. It's your channel, whatever. But are you just gonna be canning now, or are we gonna be cooking too? No, I'm not just gonna be canning. I'm going to be cooking as well. Okay, so if you're cooking and you're canning, don't you think that will confuse a couple of people if this is just a canning channel? I don't think anyone's going to get confused. Yes, I will be canning today and maybe in the future. I mean, I have done some canning adventures in the last couple of weeks and it has been fun, so I may share them, but I'll still be cooking. Oh, so you agree with me? Okay, well then let's just keep it at cooking, not canning. I understand it, but it is my, okay, thanks. Huh, good talk. Okay, ready to go. So today we are going to try our hand at canning potatoes. Now, in the past year, I have canned a couple things here and there, but I haven't done anything major yet because I really kind of got a little scared of the whole process, you know, botulism and all. However, I purchased myself a Nesco Smart Canner. This is not a sponsored ad. I just purchased it and I want to use it. And I have been canning things here and there. It has saved waste in my kitchen because when I have probably a jar's worth of, say, carrots, I just pop them in my pressure canner and I have a jar ready to go. So if you're ready for this adventure, let's get started. All right, if you're adventuring with me, you need to make sure to sanitize your jars, get some water boiling in 2 places, and cut up your potatoes. So here in this little container, last night I cut up all of my potatoes. I just diced them into the pieces that I wanted, and we are going to process them from there. It is very important to help them not to get that brown color that you do soak them in water. And we're going to discard this water before we start, but this is the process that we're going to do. So let's talk a little bit about this Nesco Smart Canner. I've had it now for about a year, and I don't know why I haven't used it until just recently. But recently, I have had so much fun canning all the things. So I've done the regular water bath stuff that is like jelly and jam and stuff like that using my deluxe cooking blender. But I've also done green beans and carrots. And what I like about having a canner like right at the ready that's electric is that when I am, say I was overzealous at the store this week and I bought a 10-pound bag of carrots. I mean, I have been known to do that. If we get down to the last couple of carrots and I'm feeling like maybe we're not going to eat them all, I can actually can them very quickly using an electric pressure canner. It takes very little effort. So if you don't have a pressure canner yet, be sure to pick one up. I'm going to leave a link to this one in the description. I do receive a very small kickback from you purchasing it, but Nesco doesn't know I'm doing this. This is just me. I purchased this with my own money. I like it. I'm going to show you how it works. So it does come with a manual. It also comes with 2 different, a steaming rack and the canning rack. So we're going to use the canning rack today, but this also works as a pressure cooker as well, but it's also a canner. It's fantastic. Like, can pressure cook. I just use this one as a canner though, so I don't get any actual food inside there, except when my jars like explode, and that's only happened once, but that was, I think, my fault. I put hot things into cold water instead of hot water because I missed the instructions that say to put it in hot water. So I will never do that again. It also comes with 2 regulating valves. This one goes above 10 PSI, and the black one that is on the pot right now, let me see if I can get it off for you. This is the 10 PSI one. This is for low altitudes, and this one is for high altitudes, and it comes with both. and you just clip it right on the pot. The instructions inside the booklet are pretty clear. It's pretty easy to set up. Since I'm at low altitude, I'm just going to use the low pressure one. But if you need a high altitude pressure, I only need 10 psi for my white potatoes. But if you needed something higher, you would use that one. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to want to do is we are going to want to put a teaspoon of salt in the bottom of all of these jars. And this canner will only do 4 quarts at a time. So I know I have 6 here, but I'm not exactly sure how much room those are going to take. So I wanted to make sure I had ample room. The next thing you're going to want to do is get a pot of water to boiling. And the reason we want it boiling is because we actually need to parboil these potatoes. Now, my potatoes I chose to do in tiny dices, and that's because I intend this for some soup later, and it needs to be very small dices. If they're any bigger, you're going to have to parboil them for a little longer, but these should only take about 2 minutes. So let me go ahead and get these drained. And then I am going to bring them right over and I'm going to get them into our pot. Meanwhile, make sure your other water is already boiling. Okay, timer is up. So we've got that stopped. Let's go ahead and get those out. And I'm just going to fish them out with a little straining tool here. And I'm just going to fish them out with a little straining tool here. And they're just par cooked, so parboiled, just 2 minutes for this small of potato. If you had a larger potato, it could take upwards of 10 minutes. So like 1-inch potatoes, that's about 10 minutes. But for what I need this for, I needed small dices. And I use it for like clam chowder and zuppa toscana and stuff like that. Usually I buy the potatoes already cut and cooked and whatever, and I'm like, what? I have no more. No more waste in this house. I am just going to start canning things that I think are going to go to waste, because how many times, let's be real here, how many times do we have a thing of potatoes that goes bad, you know, grows eyes and all that other stuff, before we can use the last of the potato? All the time for me. No more. If this works, no more. Just saying. Why wouldn't it work? I've successfully canned other things. I don't know why I didn't think of canning potatoes sooner. All right, let's get rid of this. And let's bring over our other pot of boiling water and get it boiling again. Okay, now while that's boiling, let's go ahead and get those right into our jars. So these are hot and they're just gonna go right into the jars. And we want to leave 1 inch of room at the top, and 1 inch is about the first knuckle on my pinky. And so as you can see here, it's about the first knuckle. So I know, even though I have a measurement there, if I put my finger in the jar, it's right below that initial, like right when the jar starts to go in, that's about 1 inch. So don't put any more potatoes than that. Let's go ahead and turn off this, and let's get 8 cups into our pot first. Perfect. And now we are going to put in boiling hot water. All right, and let's make sure that it only goes to the 1 inch mark. I will probably have to run a knife around all of those and shake all the bubbles out. All right, let's just tap our jar a couple times. Make sure all of our air bubbles are out, which I already see I need some more water in this one because there was some air bubbles that it shifted down into that. All right, now with a paper towel and a little bit of vinegar, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe the rims of these jars. All right, and then we're going to put our lids down and we're going to finger tighten these rings. So not super tight, but we're gonna just go twist, and that's good. And I'm gonna set them right down inside the boiling water. And there you go. 4 of them nestle very nicely inside that pot. And now if you're using the Nesco, we're gonna lock the lid. We're gonna turn it to exhaust. And then we are gonna go ahead and get this pressure started. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna push high, and then we're gonna go time to 40 minutes, and then we're gonna push start. So this is gonna go ahead and process for 40 minutes on 10 PSI. Now we're gonna leave it on exhaust until the ideal pressure comes in the pot, and then this is gonna blink and tell us to go ahead and turn it to airtight. All of those directions are in the manual when you get a Nesco. It's pretty simple. It doesn't make sense to those of us who use pressure cookers a lot to leave it on exhaust when starting, but that just helps to regulate the pressure inside, and when it gets to that 10 PSI, it will let me know, and then I'll turn it to airtight and it will go. Then at the end of 40 minutes, we're gonna let this come completely down out of pressure before we even open it. So it's probably gonna be a good 2 or 3 hours before you see me again. All right, welcome back. It has been quite some time. The pressure has already gone down out of this. Even though the pressure is gone, I'm gonna be very careful when I open it because it's still gonna be full of steam. Oh yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our handy ball can lifter and we're gonna get these jars out of here and onto our cooling mat here. And I'm gonna wanna leave these for 24 hours. At the end of 24 hours, I'm gonna come back and I'm going to check on them and make sure all of their lids have popped. If their lids have not popped, I need to use them within 24 hours. But I'm confident that all my lids will have popped. And there we have it. That was easy. I don't know why I didn't think of canning my own potatoes before, but now there's no going back. What else can I can besides meat? Do you want to see me do meat? I think I do want to do meat. I want to see how that turns out. Well, that's it, you guys. If you enjoyed that video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I love to adventure in my kitchen, so if you have any ideas for me, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you on the next adventure. That's pretty cool. Bye.